Okay, we are back with more Dragon Quest VII. Picking up from my suspended save. You can check either of these paths, like, so do this one first. It is a straight up dead end. Perfect. I have to stress out about one of them being progress. No, sorry, Johan. Get interrupted. Thin air is super busted. Yeah. The soundtrack for this game is actually rather limited compared to like a lot of other JRPGs. The tracks it has are quite good, but there's not that many of them, right? I think it just stands out more because the game is so long. You're good, Johanna. I just forgot. Appreciate the reminder. I try to do it every stream, but usually only the people that are like counting on it remember to remind me if I get interrupted by something. I think we worked out the math, Buckin, that buying the tags was cheaper for you because it's still going to win the vote. If you had gotten the bonus stream, it would have been overkill. It would have been more expensive than what you need. If you check the voting spreadsheet, Eternal Darkness is positioned pretty well to win the vote soon now. Right, yeah. On my go live procedure, I'm very dependent on my pattern. Like, okay, go live, I hit a song, during a song, I move this thing around, I double check webcam settings, disperse SP. But when we have to try to get quality options like 4 or 5 times, and I get that goofy disconnect protection screen, it interrupts me and I forget what I was doing. Yeah, I know, Spiky. I think I'm unfair to it. We were talking about this during Final Fantasy VII Remake yesterday, that, like, I'm prejudiced against orchestral music. I know the older games have, well, I mean, by necessity, they have synthy beep boops. I think I've just grown up that, like, really, really good prog rocky battle music goes a really long way to getting me to like a game that I might not be into otherwise. Water's falling too heavily to make it through. Fantasy 13 has a way more interesting soundtrack even if they're both orchestral. That's fair. I guess I'd have to hear the music in its intended environment to understand it better. The Wizard-in-Chief of the Grand Conjuratorium sent you here to bring back a Star Shard. You must be real suckers for punishment to have said yes. Every morning at sunrise, it does exactly that. The waterfall stops dead. Have a word with my wife if you'd like to know more. Something about pick your brain. They're implying that her husband's a vampire, or a zombie. Only get them when the stars are out. Here bright and early in the morning, if you're able to make it up there in no time to find something. Have to have a nice lie down. My dear lamb of a husband will wake you up before the stars disappear. There's no such thing as a priest day at the end. He didn't eat my brains. Wonderful. I guess the tracks I've heard from 13 I didn't hate. They just didn't have that, at least the ones I've heard didn't have that strong melody focus that I'm super into. I like earworms. Or if you're not going to do earworms, you got to go like hard on the ambient style, right? Like a Metroid style soundtrack. Right, you can't really sing along with any Metroid songs for the most part, but they set the tone really, really well. And it's a different feel from just having a soundtrack that is invisible, like a lot of movie soundtracks where it could basically not be there and it wouldn't change your appreciation of the work at all. You know about Sunlit Waterscape? Played that in Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm. I really didn't like the 10-2 soundtrack. Most of that was just first Final Fantasy I played without Uematsu Shock. Some of the battle themes, I probably heard it then too. We don't really know why Uematsu left, right? He left, well, he was already kind of starting to disengage as a Final Fantasy X because he didn't do that game's entire soundtrack. I assume he didn't leave because of Sakaguchi leaving, but I guess we'll never know because people are already really cagey about that in business, the Japanese especially so. I guess we just have to speculate. So you kind of moved to just being contracted to like compose the main theme, like one song. To initiate his midlife crisis on his own terms. So then he forms the Black Mages. Fucking awesome shit. Well, that's a thing. Didn't realize that was going to make me walk off the edge. Spend another night here. So the boss theme in this game is pretty cool. I know that like Chris Nolan gets a lot of flack for emotionally manipulating the audience with Hans Zimmer soundtracks, right? There'll be scenes that like they almost only really work because of the really intense music that's playing. Stuff like the docking scene in Interstellar, which is fine as a scene, but kind of shortcuts to your brain with the soundtrack. But anyway, some people complain about that. I really like that shit. Please manipulate me with your soundtrack. And that's why games like Undertale work really, really well for me. Different text from waking up a second time, man. Yeah, Pillars 2 has that sort of brand of unremarkable music that doesn't stick with you. I think it's a big part of the reason why Mass Effect stuck with me too. Jack Wall's soundtrack, like his soundtrack approach in the first game and the second game are pretty different, but other BioWare games, I guess like Jade Empire doesn't have a particularly memorable soundtrack. Knights of the Old Republic just uses John Williams tracks for the most part, so it kind of hijacks that. The Jack Wall, they asked him to do the soundtrack for Mass Effect 3, and he's like, guys, I'm like creatively tapped out. I gave it my all making the first two, so they pretty much just reused songs from the first two games. That's totally fine. I really need to finish up Heal Slime so I can get abilities like Thin Air on other characters. It's super busted. That was awesome. Speaking of super busted. Really no boss fight? Watch it not let me cast Evac or Zoom. Holy shit, it's letting me. Shock. Let's see if I can click your link here without. Avocado toast crunch mix. This. Desperate attack. Not exciting. Oh, it's because the Square Enix office moved. Oh no! Shut me back into the timeline where that didn't happen. I'm so susceptible to manipulation by soundtracks in movies and video games that there's a really good chance that I would have continued to been super pumped about Final Fantasy sequels after Sakaguchi left. Like, it may have corrupted my opinion of 10-2. $25 more damage than a regular attack, yeah. I'm actually not clear on what the difference is between the Dragon Quest Desperate Attack and a critical hit. I think they're different. Over an hour commute. Well, that's too bad. They could have moved after coronavirus, where now 70% of Japanese employees want to keep telecommuting forever, because of course they do. Of course we do. don't think Uematsu needs to be in the office to do the things he does. His crits ignore defense or something. Sure. Do you have something for me? Here you go. All the ingredients I need. Allow me to regale you with a magical tale of mystery and intrigue. Heard the rumors about the King of Hubble and his ill-advised behavior. The real situation is worse than the rumors would suggest. The fool is trying to revive the incantation. It's an apocalyptically awful spell. Seems like we're getting out of the episodic islands and into the main plot islands here. This absolute stinker of an idea. Denied he was planning such a thing and chased me out of the castle. That's when he came up with building the blockade. I'm busy trying to cook up a counterspell. In a long, hard road, requiring every ounce of my vast intellect. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so shocking. I don't know if you saw that the poll of Japanese citizens at 70% want to keep telecommuting. If anything good comes out of coronavirus, hopefully that's a thing. I remember I was very frustrated when I worked at Chase. The whole reason I'm a streamer is because I was working from home exclusively, and then because my job, not only did it not require me to be in the office, but being in the office made me less productive. Then Andrea got a job in California, and I was working in Columbus, and I just asked my boss, hey, I'm already working from home most days anyway, can I just do it from California? And she was like, yeah, but don't tell anyone. So then I worked productively from California for like a year and a half before the CEO just said, no one's allowed to work from home anymore, right? It's like, what? Why? No reason, turns out. Thanks again for your help with the counterspell, you absolute brick. Interesting thing to say. The king could complete his work on that terrible spell at any moment. Get back to the castle this instant. Okay. How's anyone going to judge you for not doing overtime like it was? Yeah. What is the seal of approval? Okay. Right. Yeah, that's a good point, Spiky. It sounds like Akira Toriyama is going to be doing the art forever, right? He's like basically contractually obligated until the end of time or something. Sugiyama's like 90, I'm sure. Toriyama's quite a bit younger, isn't he? Show me that letter of yours. A letter penned by none other than the Wizard in Chief. 65, okay. Yeah, I guess I should clarify, I don't think Dragon Quest music is bad. I just... It doesn't... it doesn't emotionally manipulate me. It might be like a nostalgia thing. I wonder if you grew up with it. Like, hearing it would remind you of the older games. Yeah, like I was saying, the boss theme in this game is actually really good. That one I get kind of pumped for. I think I remember that one, the flying theme from 8. Yeah, it's tough. It's like I'm spoiled in that I tend to treat video game soundtracks and what percentage of the soundtrack is a fucking banger. So, growing up on like Earthbound and Final Fantasy and Zelda has kind of spoiled me for game soundtracks in general. There are some games you're like, oh yeah, I really like Lufia 2. It's got that one Battle Against the Sinistral song. That song is dope. The rest of the soundtrack is fine. It's not bad. Midge. Shooting fireballs everywhere. Well, that's inconvenient. Strong is probably a good word. Yeah. Let's have that discussion with my friend Kat. Like, we need to have a word that describes a good pizza place that's not the best pizza, but you don't want to say it's good but not the best because that tells them that it's not great. So say it's a strong pizza. You know what that means. It's solid. A demonstrator spell that has served me well over the years. She's gonna brizzle this child? Holy shit. Damn. This is pretty sweet, this scene. I love that, like, that's supposed to be this badass evil sequence, but the name of the spell is still Kafrizzle. I'm actually curious if in the Japanese version of the game, the spell names are meant to sound kind of silly to the Japanese ear. Solid, yeah. Strong, solid. Yeah, it's a heal spell. Oh, nice, Rana. Dude, streaming is tough. I very quickly lose track of what I've said before, who I've said it to, how many times I've said it. Like, it even extends outside of streaming. Like, I'll be talking to a friend and be like, did I already tell you about this thing that I've mentioned like 7 times in the last 2 years? No, you said that on stream. Okay. Hybris be thinking? Associating with a man who would threaten a child's life. It's when we were still able to do the Cat and Crunch serial content. Kat and I would record an episode and then we'd get around to editing it a couple weeks later. And like while he was watching himself, I would ask him a question in the video, and the Cat in real life would say verbatim what he said in the video without remembering what he said in the video. Like the free will is not a thing. We're programs. Sure, I'm just saying that streaming accelerates it, aggravates it. Because it's like you're not really certain who all is in chat at a given time, and at least for me, a lot of the people in chat are people that I know in real life. Or rather, a lot of the people I know in real life occasionally tune into the stream, I should say that way. JP spell names remind you of Shin Megami Tensei. Mara, Marami, Mirazoma, Maragaya. Okay. They're not onomatopoeia like Frizzle. The Ruckers. Yeah, we're getting into like serious heavy story stuff here. Right. I think as soon as you get into a mode where you might be sharing something with people that might be anonymous or might only be listening and not actually replying to you, it can get confusing to keep track of who you've told to what you told to who. I think there have been like one or two other events in this game that have been as impactful to the overall plot as this one appears to be. And most of them were in the first like 10 hours of the game. For the royal family would certainly boost the men's morale. Take the prince alive. Prove a useful pawn. It's like the miss sound effect when we hit the general there. Let you fall. No! That's a bummer. And in the present, Rucker has been completely dominated by these people. You know, the prince is important. I think he's got a unique character model, which is crazy. Even the bad guy in this scene does not have a unique character model. You'll pay for this. I'll kill you all right here, right now. Whoa. So this is why he becomes a angry apocalypse mage, probably dabbling in stuff with the Demon King. Yours is a pitiful kingdom. The sword is mightier than the wand. First took the throne and led Hubble to victory against our oppressors. We are not at peace. Still he covets further power. Seeks to revive the most potent spell of all, the incantation. So it's like a meteor. Very same spell that once tore the land apart. Erased from history by ancient seers. Interesting. Let me do an actual save. I loaded from a suspend save, which has me super nervous. There we go. I should have done this right when we booted up the game. I completely forgot. So Spiky, the Japanese spell names are pretty similar, like Fire, Fyra, Faraga. Pretty wild. That's why all the islands have been wiped out, potentially. You needed to not go back and bring this island back then, right? Oh, the suffixes are different for every spell. Yikes. The suffixes are generally the same in Shin Megami Tensei, aren't they? Like, Dash Rama means it affects everything. I have got some nerve. You really are the envoy after all, are you? Show the wizard's seal of approval. Can't disobey an order from someone like that. I know that, like, it seems like game developers want to distinguish themselves through their terminology, but there are certain things that are just useful if everyone understands it, if they understand the vocabulary of video games. It's sort of like how everyone's pretty much agreed that WoW's golden exclamation point means this is a quest. Golden question mark means turn in a quest that you've already accepted, right? Like, I wouldn't mind terribly if everybody just agreed that the ultimate form of a Knuckles weapon is called the Kaiser Knuckles. I've played a couple indie games that'll do that. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I can you know, count on what this is. How did you worm your way in here? Wizard seal of approval. It's like, why? That's funny. Brought what you requested. Take it and see for yourself. Actually found it. I think that somewhere out there this existed all along. Can it really be true? I know, right, Aki? Oh man, the Final Fantasy IX Brady Games guide was something else. That was the last strategy guide I ever bought. I was wondering if maybe the protagonist secretly came from this kingdom, but he wasn't the little girl that got knocked off the cliff. Do you think any passing vagabond can waltz in here and demand an audience with me? Wizard-in-Chief told you to prevent me from reviving the incantation. That's senile fool. Come back and tell him he's a contemptible meddler and quite mad to boot. Are you actually going to send me to go do that? It exists only in legend. Be gone. You have a guide for a WoW that contains info that was outdated at launch. God. Making a guide for an MMO. There's a lot of people trying to, like, get a quick buck by putting out, like, a Fortnite strategy guide. It's a good luck. Hey, it's his dead sister. Lucia. For clueless parents, exactly. Yeah, it's call it grandma bait, right? You sell a shitty knockoff console, call it like the X Cube. The incantation, never heard of it. The chef actually has the secret all along. Chapels were the king's old friend Martin used to work. He really was a great priest. I had to leave about that. Mysterious man not only is the envoy, is renowned for his scholarship. He said to read every book in existence. Something weird about him. It's as if he was a different person. He used to be frailer and gentler. Definitely had a little kick the dog moment where he fucking cast a frizzle on a child, right? So spoiler free, was it Times Guide free? They literally want me to go back and tell the wizard. But it's like, go tell the wizard to fuck off. It's like, no, seriously, we really want you to do that. Please travel to the south and tell the wizard to fuck off, thank you. Hey. An event trigger. Looking for you everywhere. I was ordered by the Wizard-in-Chief to find you. He's on the verge of finishing that spell and wants to see you as soon as possible. Crystal Chronicles guy vaguely hints that the final boss exists. Yes, please. Yeah, please bounce back and forth between these two locations until you stop tripping event flags. I was thinking today, I'm trying to like put this to words. I feel like there's a lot of JRPGs where the combat's not particularly integrated into the plot. So like you could basically just remove all the combat from the game, turn it into a walking simulator or a visual novel, you know, and it would still hold up decently well for why the fans like it. Not every JRPG is like that, I don't think. This one in particular, where it feels like, you know, an enemy will be like, and now we're gonna fight, and then what the enemy actually is kind of random. It's like, he's a dragon with the sword now, or this guy you're just talking to just turned into like a slime thing. It's very rare that the combat feels like very integrated into the plot. When I was recreating the save for Manakemia, I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, if this game replaced go kill monsters for materials with, you know, go to the woods and forage for materials, nothing would really change. The enemies don't really have much significance, right? I guess an RPG where the combat feels integrated would be like if, I'm just trying to think of an example, like you went to the Crystal Caves and the Crystal Caves was full of crystal enemies, right? And had some unique weakness based on the location that they're in. It isn't just like, you know, Dragon Quest VII combat number 137. It's a vase for some reason. Yeah, I'm not saying I dislike the combat in Manakemia. I think it's cool. It's got some fun interplay. Yeah, Golden Sun has palette swap D&D monsters everywhere. Dark Souls does a really good job of making the combat fit the story. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like the emissary boss fight in Sekiro. I want you to witness me adding the final essential ingredient to this miracle magical mix. Witness the completion of one of the greatest thaumaturgical concoctions this world has ever seen. Hold on to your hats. That's strange. Looks like I botched it. That can't be right, can it? Measured out every ingredient to within an inch of its life. Forgot the stoat snot and the badger warts. Okay. Be a deer and go back to the town of Hubble to get those for me. I don't know how you get them back. You have witnessed an unprecedented faux pas. Go back to the drawing board. I'm sorry to have summoned you for what turned out to be a rather damp squib. Head back to the castle and keep an eye on the king. Incredible. Video games. I think Paper Mario integrates it pretty well. I'm not like describing quality here. Like, I don't think that it's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a question of like, do the gameplay loops in a game complement each other, or are they integrated with each other, or are you kind of alternating between doing things that don't really seem to have much of a connection? And I don't think the answer is yes or no. Like, I think Final Fantasy is a series where it depends. So you might get into a dungeon where the enemies are very flavorful and it makes sense for what's happening. You break out of a prison in a typical Final Fantasy game, the enemies are going to be the prison guards. It's probably closer to being integrated than something like Dragon Quest VII, where the enemies are all basically randomly deployed everywhere. And you get super weird games like Okage Shadow King, where the combat almost feels like an afterthought. Like if the game had been made 10 years later, it would have just been a walking simulator. Earthbound's probably an RPG I can think of where almost all the combats in the game are very closely related to where you find them. Do you have any idea who I am? You may call me the Envoy. Perhaps you know something of me, perhaps you don't. I know you cast Faraga on little girls. The king is on the verge of finally reviving the incantation. He just told me he wasn't doing that. As soon as he utters those dread words, he'll be possessed by an unimaginable force and will be reborn as a veritable god of destruction. So he's going to be the demon evil king. Okay. After that, nothing will be the same again. Yeah, I think they're comparable, Spiky. Hey, at least he's somewhat mage-like. Is it other for sap? Immune to sap. Ow. Jesus. Just the performer ready for evasive maneuvers. Cheeses enemies, someone's shot a flock of sheep. Ball, one-liner, rib tickler. Puff puff, triple question mark. Multi-heal, please. Uh-oh, that's bad. Bad magician. I think he put up a reflect effect, so I have to be careful of that. Try Lampede and see if it works here. I think Rough has something that can, like, give everyone a defense buff or something, or maybe that was a different job. It might have been Champion. It must have been Champion. Okay. Well, at least they can also cast Soothing Song if they're fizzled. Just start having him spam Soothing Songs as he tends to act last. Not a single sheep showed up. God, this is extremely bad. Rough is still fizzled. Please don't cast Kaswoosh again. Can you hit someone physically and wake them up? That'd be nice. This is a very swingy boss fight. He either does nothing on his turn or he, like, nukes everyone really bad. Bounce effect wears off. That's bad. I don't think I have any way to be immune to sleep, right? Rude Awakening. Oh, it's only one. Rouses party members from their slumber. Son of a bitch. I didn't see that Sir Mervyn had fucking shit. Oops, we need this to be Soothing Song again. Thin Air. Soothing Song. It's okay. The boss can either hit me for 80% of my health on his turn or do absolutely nothing, so gotta just play it safe. I'm actually not sure if he's allowed to double cast. I think he can just cast Kaswoosh twice or not, right? Dawn Chorus. Hooray! There's a corner case spell I probably don't often get a chance to use. Oh shit. Well, I guess if he casts the snooze again, we'll be okay. Hey! Well, that's insanely lucky. Wow. I didn't deserve that. Soothing song, thank you. Hey, the envoy is defeated. Master Medicator. How could I be defeated by you? Your victory will do you no good. It's too late to stop the king. Dearly wish to see this world torn apart. He looked so much more threatening when he was in the black robe. I shall die knowing I helped give rise to the god of destruction who will annihilate you all. Maybe the implication is that this is some kind of like time loop. Gets destroyed, the hero goes back and like restores all the islands and things get reset again. Save. How close does it say I am to Mervyn capping heel slimes? Gotta be far off still, I think. Yeah. Go for it. This one. That's fine. Too late to stop the king. May as well take a nap. None shall enter. Huh. But the serious man in black has been waiting for them, introduces himself as the envoy. Heroes prevail, have to prevent the king, but are they already too late? Maybe I have to talk to his friend Martin. I do kind of like that the big plot events just kind of happen. It's kind of interesting that you're not like going into the town and there's not this like intense music that's playing that you're like, oh shit, this is an endgame town, right? You're so, oh, these people have some kind of problem. Okay. The king, going to the inquisitory, Marstead over there. Sure. It is a time loop, but that's a new game plus mechanic. You have to keep your levels. If you you don't hit specific event flags, you get sent through another loop. Oh. Oh, see, this is the 3DS version. This is Dragon Quest VII Remake. Whoa, this thing's gnarly. So there's going to be a bunch of spooky slime ghosts that represent the Dragon Quest VII canon. I don't think I'm going to let that go for a while. That was pretty wild. Sup? What's all this kerfuffle? Kerfuffle sounds like it would be a Dragon Quest spell. How they're mages, like, they're super evil. None shall pass. Magic matters. Detailed descriptions of how magic is developed over the years. Come to the game, it could be your worst nightmare. Event flags would be a big part of it. Like, honestly, the inventory in this game is my worst nightmare. It could be worse. It could be worse. It could be this, but you don't have an unlimited number of items that you can have in your inventory, but it's still just a list of items with text and minimal contextual information on the side. The more evil the aesthetic, the more powerful the magic. You have to include now that it's a remake of a beloved game. That ends with a fourth wall breaking representation of the canon that the developer is unwilling to respect. Or wants permission to disrespect or something? I don't know. Talking to Andrea about that, and she's like, man, I would be so upset if I got to the end of the Spyro Reignited trilogy and, like, had to fight Gnasty Gnorc Requiem or something. I know, right? Kingdom Hearts, the story is moved along by a semi-turn-based grand strategy RTS with tech trees and economic systems based on building upgrades. Your time loop increases enemy stats but not their level. All level caps stay the same. Right. Yeah, and it just makes the math go up, right? It just makes their HP and their defense increase significantly. They don't get any new abilities or anything. Interesting they'll let you leave there. Okay. I haven't been in this building before, which is why I'm not going to the plot thing. The only chance you get to align all the correct event flags happens every 5 time loops. You don't know this. The game is balanced around the assumption that you have to load your save constantly. Timing is impeccable, Martin. About to bear witness to the birth of a power beyond the imagination of any god or man. The director's here. There's one ingredient to add. Add it, damn you. You may leave now. What was the ingredient for the incantation? The ultimate death god spell. It just has the same sprite as the Rucker General. None shall stand in the way of destiny. Hybris, you're not in your right mind. I think his name is supposed to sound like Hybris. Because Martin's remembering when his sister died. This, the greatest enchantment of all, I will finally have that power. Oh, he learned the Psych Up ability from Dragon Quest VIII. Got a purple Kaioken aura. Please do something, I beg of you. You have to stop him. Erg. This is a really cool, unique-ish room. I guess we saw that plot in the Conjuratorium. Every proper noun is faux Welsh. With the voice input command mechanic. Oof. It's full of walkthrough bait. You could make a mistake in the first 5 minutes of the game that makes the game unwinnable. It's 90 hours long. Presumably just went back to the castle. Save really quick. Hey, what are we doing there? Hybris. Power to vanquish any foe. It is mine, Lucia. I can finally save you. How's that gonna work? Once again, he turns into random monster that Akira Toriyama submitted. That's super funny to me. You think they just tell him, like, hey, just, like, you know, draw some shit. Send it, put it in a zip file and send it our way. And he's like, okay, don't worry, we'll make it work. think bosses are just generally immune to sap at this point. I'll keep trying. Immune to sap, got it. Oh, also very resistant to physical attacks, it turns out. Ow. Big ow. Just going to be the equivalent of the dual Magus fight. Am I going to have to finish getting multi-heal for everybody else? That's how Path of Exile gets made. That's a good point, Walter. That's a specific frustration in streaming. I wonder if this is meant to be an unwinnable fight, or if it's this game's dual Magus fight. Oh shit. Oh. Big ouch. Currently my biggest DPS dealer is also my best healer, which is not a great combination. Alright, I'm gonna see if I'm actually supposed to lose here. Remember, he's got Chill Breath, so I can use the ability it attacks Shepherd's skill. Alchemy pot crafting is in real-time brewing. You have to level it up in order to craft an event flag critical item. If you open a specific chest in the first 20 minutes of the game, one of the ingredient chests disappears. Also, it uses every item you get, so you're able to sell items, but if you ever sell them, it ruins your ability to craft. Hey, it was a scripted combat. I was like, damn, I don't know. That's about as hard as the dual Magus fight is in Dragon Quest VIII, if you don't have multiple party members with multi-heal by that point. You end up having to devote like 2 characters just to spamming it every turn. I wonder if he's beatable. If you've overgrinded at this point. It's the Wiz. Impeccable powers of deduction tell me King Hybris has revived the incantation. We can discuss the finer points of the impending apocalypse later. Okay. Go back and save again. I think he gave me a full heal, yeah. It's got 40k health. Does it say you can win? I assume that if you do, he just does something that knocks you out. That's a fight that everyone having multi-heal wouldn't have solved it, though, because he would do kaboom and then hit someone and basically insta-kill them, so they'd have to be high enough to survive that. Or I'd have to be able to get out like several kabuffs and keep them up for the whole fight. I think it's Champion gets kabuff as an activated ability instead of a spell. Someone. What's the matter with you? You're the Wizard-in-Chief. What exactly is it? Radiant is a champion ability, right? Not a gladiator ability? Oh wait, no. Is gladiator or paladin? I don't think it's paladin. Hope is gone. Not clear that it's possible. Okay. A little something to show you is the enchantment I've been working on. The counterspell to end all counterspells. The Great Leveler. See if we can't blast the badness out of that young fool of a king. So can you join my party? Just makes him weak enough that now we can fight him for real, right? Come down to Earth. It wasn't enough to finish the job. Finish what I've started. Okay. He lost his psycho. Maybe Kaboom will like almost kill the party every time now. I have a feeling this fight's still going to be difficult, so I'm going to go save again. I don't have to watch that cutscene again. Is that the one... What's the thing in Dragon Quest VIII that bosses do constantly where it just wipes out all of your buffs? Just, oh, you got this cool new ability? Nope. I hate that. It seems like all of the Shin Megami Tensei super bosses are built around that. Oh, you got all these cool powers. Well, if you use any of them, the boss will counterattack with an attack that instantly ends the battle. I felt like that was something that Final Fantasy X's Monster Arena actually did decently well, where a lot of those super encounters there were like, here, show off how overpowered and strong you are now. So, beautiful power, far from defeated. Hybris Part 2. I don't think I have access to Diddy. I'm sure I still need Woolly Blanket. I think those are party-wide. I don't think everyone has to spam it. You had to make one character evade counter and also confuse proof. And then taunt with him the other heals DPS. Oh, that's... I don't know if it's the best, but it's one of my favorite examples of endgame content in a JRPG. I love that it was basically a series of puzzles that were only really relevant to people that were like really trying to squeeze all the blood out of the game. I love how that their wounds are healed thing plays even if they didn't need to be healed, that they were at full health. Is that like a demon slayer? I don't think so. Excuse me. It's like, what's even funnier about Soothing Song is that it has to say that each individual party member's wounds were healed, and then at the end of it, it also says the party's wounds were healed. Game. Really? I set him on an offensive ability. Actually curious how far this strategy of Maribel and Sir Mervyn use Soothing Song, Marstead and Rough attack. It's super boring, but it like completely works. And consumes no resources. I'm gonna risk having another character attack. Ooh. I don't think he gets 2 attacks per round anymore, so it's not that big of a deal. Boom is her strongest targeted spell, right? I'm just basing that on it being the most expensive. There's Cool Breath. There's a stronger to the target. Okay. Now he's doing double attacks. I don't think if I can stack these or if I have to stack the Holy Blanket. Oh right, he never leveled that up. Nice time. So we just refresh the duration. Okay. Reckle's also stronger than Boom since it only hits in a group, weaker than Frizzle. Okay, so that's the general rule. Single target always trumps party-wide damage. targeted group damage will also be better than full group damage, I guess. I have very little intuition for how any of these work, unfortunately. It's not great. If I look at it on the screen down here, and especially on the 3D screen, if I turn on the stereoscopic effects. Well, that's funny. The little nameplate above his head is part of the 3D effect. It's like floating up over him. Is there even a single 3DS game that absolutely requires the 3D to be playable? I don't think so, right? It's mostly a gimmick. Cool idea, but I don't think I've ever turned it on for a full playthrough. Wish I could see when buffs drop off in this game. I don't think you can. Don't please break the rules, which is why Thin Air is so listed, yeah. That's cool. Can't lose it. I can't lose this power. Without it, I can't save them. I can't save her. And we just fucking kill him. Oh, no, he's okay. You have my deepest thanks. If you had not been here to defend us, I fear our fate would have been sealed. Don't forget the Wizard-in-Chief. Thankfully, the full power of the incantation was not unleashed. And now the evil enchantment sleeps once more. All that remains is for those caught up in the events to rest and recuperate. Pure heartfelt gratitude. Not yet able to rise from his bed, Hybris is conscious. He would like to speak with you before you leave. Sure. Always welcome here. Be handsomely rewarded. I wouldn't mind a nice banquet in my honor if you could stretch to that. I'd like a word with you and your pals before you poodle off on your next adventure. Toodlepip. It's really interesting. I feel like almost all of the NPCs in this game have some kind of like quirk that's not fully communicated in English because it's a quirk that might only show up in like 1 or 2 words out of their 300 or so lines of dialogue. And I wonder if it's something that's more obvious with just like the way they're constantly speaking in the Japanese version. I owe you a debt of gratitude. I'm ashamed of what I've done. It's too weak to protect my dearest friend in her time of need. Oh, I thought it was his sister. I didn't realize it was his friend. Owed it to Lucia to grow strong. People have suffered terribly because of the choices I made. It may be too late to atone for my sins, but the least I can do for the citizens of Hubble is to ensure they may live in peace from now on. Sounds good, dude. To think he never got over that episode from his boyhood. I know, right? Way around. Well, I can see if I can zoom when I'm on the outside. Oh, wait, no, I can't zoom because I'm in the past. That's right. Thinking about the boom versus crackle versus frizzle problem, I'm trying to figure out, like, is there any solution to the opportunity cost problem faced by virtually every turn-based game ever? It's like, action economy is everything, and I'm only ever going to do the action that's the most profitable, so you can give me this really cool spell book, this really cool suite of like 70 abilities, but in any of these games I'm going to use like 2% of them. I guess Shin Megami Tensei games deal with it by having, you know, puzzles where you have to use certain elements in a certain order in order to stagger the enemies and make the fight winnable. Elemental damage mattering, I think, is fun. I thought that Final Fantasy X did a decent job of that for like the first 40% or so of the game. True calling lies back at the castle. He struck home. Chose to try to overcome the demons of his past. Chose to run away from them. I think you did the healthier thing in this case, Martin. You didn't, like, turn yourself into a purple demon. So I've seen a couple games that will try to add things like, oh, there's a Xenosaga and Trails of Cold Steel do this, where there's some kind of round-by-round modifier. So maybe on round 3, fire abilities do more damage. So that can be kind of fun to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to use this fire ability that I normally would never use. It feels like it's especially problematic in Dragon Quest, where you get all these abilities that cost 0. So they're like strictly better than the attack command. The only problem is you have to spend the time of like pressing right on the D-pad, going to abilities, selecting offensive, and then selecting the ability in question. So it's strictly better, but is it better enough to be worth the tiny hassle? If anyone's ever played Dominion before, it's a deck building card game. Quite good. There was a while there where the creator of the game allowed a free online version to exist, provided that they sent all of their logs from people playing the game to him for future balancing purposes. But I bring it up because there's a strategy in Dominion where you could basically have a computer play it, where if you have enough money to buy the thing that gives you points, you buy the thing that gives you points. If you don't have enough money to buy the thing that gives you points, you buy the thing that gives you currency, and you do nothing else. You don't interact with any of the other cards on the board. And it's a very successful strategy, but it's the strategy against which, like, every other possible strategy can be weighed against. So you call that big money. You could do big money, but you buy one of these action cards if it's available, or big money, but you do these three things if you could do it, and then you compare the win rates between them. I bring that up to say that, like, the equivalent of the big money strategy in a JRPG is mashing attack. Usually is fine for most of the battles in the game. Everyone can just select attack and it'll be acceptable. So something has to really outshine the success rate of that and the time spent rate of that in order to be worth using. Fell Seal. Any unit can have up to 4 passive plus a reaction ability, so the optimal ability isn't always optimal in every scenario. That's cool. Sup? How nice of you to join me. Haven't quite managed to get it working properly. Share the spell with you as and when I crack it. Okay. Charg oil or charge oil? I think it's charg oil. So you say any unit, you mean like enemies, Akeem? I guess those are kind of like affixes in Diablo. That could be interesting. You get frustrated with like damage immunity or damage resistance, because unless if your game exposes that sort of thing immediately, I don't find it interesting to spend time discovering that, oh, this enemy is, once again, immune to death. This enemy is immune to sleep or poison or whatever. So it's nice that a game like Pillars of Eternity just reveals that. And I guess it's a pretty low barrier to cast Assess one time in a game like FF7 Remake. All units, enemies, allies, and bosses. That's cool. Does that mean the difficulty of a boss is wildly different for every person's save file? Or is that authored in for the bosses what their affixes are? I'm exhausted. Can't wait to curl up at the bottom of a nice, comfy bed. Mary Ban is in need of respite. Homeward. Okay. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that in Digital Devil Saga. Every enemy is an elemental puzzle. That only gets frustrating, or like once you've solved it and then repeated it a couple times, it gets dull. Thought you might be here. Look over the details if it's all the same to you. You're wanted at home right away. Your father's had a bit of a funny turn. Okay. I wonder if this is triggered by doing a bunch of islands? Lost a party member, Eeks. Alright, whoops. I see. That's a cool concept. Is that information like signposted clearly, or is it something you have to discover? Like when you load into the battle, can you see what everyone's affixes are? I like the idea of reaction abilities as opposed to immunity to something. Rather than saying this thing is immune to poison, it's like you could poison it, but if you poison it, this happens. It hits you for free, or it casts poison on your whole party or something. But then it becomes an interesting choice, like is it worth the effect of poisoning it? I actually don't remember which of these is Maribel's house. Can't believe what's happened to Mayor Maid. Things like this are so scary. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I don't know, I really like being able to guess at enemy weaknesses. Like, oh, it's an ice monster, I'm gonna cast fire on it. But a lot of the time, elemental weaknesses are pretty arbitrary. Go ahead and save really quick. Priestess of Maramede's residence. Sort of hold on to that Hubble save. This looks like a rich mayor's house. The cup of a carpenter. Maribel's just through here. Good news is your father's life is not in any immediate danger. There's no doubting this is a most serious illness. Stay by his side until he makes a full recovery. What? You kicking her out of my party? It would be insolence not to do so. I do wish to whisk her on another one of my jaunts. Oh my god, that's awful. Okay. I'm just thinking of all the job points she won't be earning. I would be fine with it if it was the thing I was talking about of like make job points work like SP in the FF7 remake, where you accrue them and then can spend them at will even if the person's not on your party. Good news, your dad's not dying immediately. Pray for a speedy recovery. Last time I went fishing, we dropped anchor near that new island in the northwest. Got a glimpse of a tribe of people living in tents. Just come across one of your adventures? Island to the northwest. Okay. See if that shows up in the recent developments. Okay, yep, it wants me to go there. Okay, let's try to minimize combat while Maribel's not in the party. Watch her just be gone for the party for the rest of the game. I'm joking, but it's Dragon Quest, right? Could be true. Yep, all that time you spent grinding job points for her, it doesn't matter. We're not going to do a Final Fantasy V thing and transfer it to somebody else. You're just going to get a different fourth party member that has to start from scratch. So we're talking about this island, I don't think. The Grand Conjuratorium, a perfectly preserved reminder of days when these lands were a center of magical excellence. Yeah, right. There's a party member that leaves 80% of the way through the game. Any time you spend investing in them is lost forever. I feel like that's so much worse. If it was just character level, like whatever, that's fine, I don't care. But for some reason, when it's like job advancement, it irks me. That thing in Final Fantasy V where a character leaves your party and is replaced with someone else and they inherit all of the job points, abilities of the character who left, really stuck with me. Like, wow, that's so nice of them. They managed to have a significant story event without like overly penalizing me mechanically. Thanks, game. Yeah, so that's essentially the premise of my D&D campaign, that your class levels are associated with an object that's transferable between people, so if your character dies, it's not a big deal. Somebody else can pick up that object and equip it and inherit all of your spells, XP, skills, and shit. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think I like Final Fantasy V. I miss just the traditional job system. Grave of a legendary wizard-in-chief is said to be located somewhere in this building. Only those who showed great wisdom would ever find his final resting place. Enter by the statue and make a cross. Oh, okay. We did that before. Oh yeah, this is the guy that's talking about run a quest to revive the Almighty. I relate to the tribe deeply. Alright, he's trying to get the mini metal castle. They're really just changing a sprite in a name in 5. It's funny. Five's not that bad as far as difficulty goes, generic. 1, 2, and 3 haven't aged super well in terms of difficulty, and 4 is actually fairly tough. I feel like 5 is the first modern Final Fantasy where just like a blind player running through it for the first time, leveling up jobs, should have an okay time with it. difficulty, right? It's definitely a thing. Enter from the statue and make a cross. We had to do that in the past in the other area. Oh, here we go. Shit, I'm trying to remember how we did it before. It was a much smaller room than this one. Let's see. I think it's exactly the same puzzle as before, but I thought that I could walk through the center of the room last time. There was like a chest. Because there's like a square here. I'm actually seeing some frames dropping here. Hopefully that's just ingest related. Well, I'm going to take a second to look up how I did this in the previous dungeon. I don't know why my brain's not working around it when it was fine before in the smaller room. Maybe I'll give a chance for the frame rate to repair itself here. The center of the previous room also had a chest in the middle that was blocking me. Watching last week's VOD. Sorry. It's way after the malign vine. Way after the worm. That's right. Here we go. It sounds like something went click. Oh, okay. Now I remember. Yeah, I don't know why the water being there is fucking with me so much. I think it's just you go straight across and then up, down. Yeah, I'd love to see more. I'd love to see more games try the FF2 thing. Basically, what RuneScape is. There it goes. Hooray! For some reason, I was remembering cross like X. Assume that works in the past too. Look, a mini medal. Looks like the drop frames passed while I was looking that up. For showing wisdom enough to find my final resting place, allow me to grant you further wisdom. My life's work, my magical masterpiece, is now at your disposal. I was unable to complete it soon enough for it to prove useful in my time, but perhaps it will prove useful in yours. Give you the spell that renders all others null and void, the Great Leveler. I learned the Great Leveler. Wait, I wonder if it would be so stupid if it matters who the leader of the party is, right? Try it. Up reads the inscription. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. Legend of Legacy. Isn't that basically saying Legend of Legend? Let me see. Legend of Thrones. Game of Legacy. Right, generic. Executed in a way that's rough and very exploitable. I think the dream of that sort of leveling system is that you never try to exploit it. You just kind of play the game and do your thing. And the levels come as they come. But I don't think that it's possible to design a system that completely stops people from jumping over and over and over, right? Diamond. Diamond. I think FF2 is one of the first mainstream games. I'm sure there were some like roguelikes that did something like that. Sims is inspired by FF2. I'm surprised they only tried it the one time. Like Final Fantasy is generally the entry-to-entry innovation RPG, but they definitely have brought back similar systems a couple times. You'll nerf yourself because you have no stats in combat. FF2's mechanic got quarantined to the Saga games. I think I rented a Saga game one time. I was really confused. Is there a way to discourage the player from cheesing your leveling mechanic that doesn't involve soft? Are the FF Legend games technically Saga games? Tournament player. Sailor once told me he'd come across a curious tribe who played the strangest music. I think that's the folks in tents on the Northwest Island. They did it with Secret of Mana as well, right? Sword of Mana, the GBA release, is technically like one of the Final Fantasy spin-off games in the West, anyway. That Crystal Chronicles. That sounds right. Oh, that's the adventure. Second Densetsu 1, and then what we call Secret of Mana, Second Densetsu 2. It would be fun if they still had a Western division of Square that made games inspired by properties in Japanese division. I think the only game that was Secret of Evermore, right? I'm Crispin, the world's greatest Torben player. World of Final Fantasy was on the voting spreadsheet for a while. I think I got removed due to stagnation. Seemed like a neat concept. Magical Skirt, Silver Mail, Enchanted Armor is a flat upgrade that's insanely expensive. Okay. Not that big of an upgrade, though. Well, no, I guess it is, because it's like the armor they currently have, and it reduces magic damage. I love that magic defense is like a special added effect in this game. It's not just a stat that you can view. Fairy Sword, Fairy Foil, Bicycle Turret, Retreating Blade, Spike Steel. Okay, it's just the exit. The building was once known as the Inquisitory. The original layout remained unchanged. This is where court magicians once labored to create the ultimate spell for their king. Now we're devoted to the pursuit of peace and musical harmony. Okay. It's a king named Hybris who started a terrible war and used magic to transform himself into a terrifying monster. Laid waste to the castle. I guess he did kind of lay waste to the castle, that he destroyed the center area. He laid down his wand and took up a paintbrush. Hooray! Kings just like turning themselves into monsters. Alright, time to go to the castle. I'm very anxious. I might just like Google or ask people to tell me when Maribel's gonna rejoin my party. I don't want her to be losing out on job points for a really long time. Not yet. Excuse me. I don't remember if I did these houses already. Let's see. Don't think I did. What luck, a pointy hat. The Marstead Hell game would also include Blue Dragon style pickups where like virtually every art asset in the game has an item that you can get from inspecting it. Some of the items are extremely important and there is no indicator of art assets that you already inspected versus not inspected. At least Dragon Quest VII has the kindness to like only have those things be barrels and jars, wardrobes and that kind of a thing. It bummed me out in Blue Dragon because like, I like the idea of having a thing in the game that makes you care about art assets. So you're paying more attention to the kind of cool stuff that they added to the game world, but it needed to have some way of tracking the ones that you had already cleared or what you had already inspected. Because it kind of degenerates into mash the confirm button everywhere you run, just in case there's a pickup somewhere. And then systematically search every room you ever go to by mashing X everywhere, and don't you dare miss a single tile or you're going to regret it, right? Queen Euphonious official fan club. First in line to hear the latest news about everyone's favorite queen. Shut up and cry it. The FedEx guy, what happened? Blue Dragon is a fucking kick-ass soundtrack. It's a game where it's like Sakaguchi basically wanted to make a Dragon Quest game, but with Uematsu as the composer, and even though it's mostly straightforward Dragon Quest game, the soundtrack elevates it for me. Oh, that's frustrating, Six Gun. There was an attempt to promote the Xbox in Japan. That game has an extremely high density of fucking bangers. I'm Euphonia, Queen of Hubble. I find my subject to be most welcoming. Take a look around the kingdom. Wish I could. Oh gosh. This is the first time I've spoken to someone my own age, and I don't know how long. Cooped up all day with a bunch of wrinkly old men. Wow, she has a unique model, I think. It's crazy for this game. I'm rough. Sir Mervyn. What brings you to Hubble? Would that I had sufficient time to regale you with my earlier adventures. In honor of meeting someone my own age for a change, I'd like to give you something. It's a gift I hope you'll cherish forever. The gift of friendship. Isn't that nice of me? Yes. From this day forth we shall be friends. Henceforth, this Saturday shall be known as Friday. Anything I can do for you, let me know. My eyeballs and official decrees that need my royal assent. There's nothing special there. It's super gamey, so it's the kind of thing that Dragon Quest would never do, but like having some kind of indicator over wardrobes and pots and barrels and stuff that I've already checked would go a really long way to not stressing me out. King Hybris always had the faithful master Father Martin help him in... Oh. For help and support, okay. What's up? Yeah, save my game, please. Oh wait, you're not a save the game person. Shit. Oh, there's an NPC that will tell you the XP to level up, which is available in the stats screen, but not any way to know how many battles you have until your jobs will advance. Time to turn this castle upside down, looking for loot. You see where it says there are tablet fragments? 1 second. Maximo's Mansion. Oh, that's the only one. Okay. Music originally came from songs and dances dedicated to the spirits. Okay, still planting more about the highly musical tribe, which I think we met in an earlier episode. The nomads with the turban. Assemble as many unusual instruments and musical scores as we can find. Oh. Okay, so you can get a royal warrant to go to the music shop. That stinks of a quest later on. Talking to Euphonia. Don't dance on an empty stomach. Okay. Have to keep track of all the rooms I've been to so I know which pots I've destroyed. Sweeping and polishing. They get all this value out of their existing maps with the formula for this game, right? My falsetto can knock birds out of the sky and stun a man at 10 paces. I don't think I've ever seen the word dragoon used as a verb. Siege of Resilience, what luck. Two more rooms to explore, and then I'll try to progress the plot here. A noun uses a verb because it's the most suitable or flavorful option. I see. They've dragooned me. Squirreled away, I guess. Yeah. Just to squirrel away. Does that make sense? Yeah, because squirrels like hide nuts and stuff, right? That makes sense. But I got dragooned into this position. Like, I guess it's difficult for me to disentangle the word dragoon from, like, you know, the jumping class in Final Fantasy. Grabbed and jumped away into his current job. Aren't dragoons like kind of a cavalry or something? I think it's completely a weird Final Fantasy decision to be like, no, they jump. That's what they do. I remember how to do this now. A party dress. Hooray. Whoa, seriously? Dragooning is a real verb that means to coerce or to persuade. Whoa. Is it based on the noun? Or is the noun based on the verb? What? Holy shit. It's also cavalry. I think some variant of the mimic can cast Kathwak, which would be very bad indeed. Show them our peaceful ways by force, yeah. Like, the Americans showing up on Japanese shores with a bunch of giant battleships and being like, can you please open trade with us? It's up to you. Very much like it if you would trade with us, though. These dresses are huge. Whoa, fuck. What is happening in this part of the castle? They made a miniature beach resort in one of the rooms of the castle. Forcing by the agency of the Dragoons. Oh man, it's a roller coaster generic. Wow, it's wild. It is. I'm a big fan. No, etymologies are my shit. There are several branching points in my own history where I would have gone into language or English or linguistics. But for my family situation, it's mostly just a thing that I like, but have no formal training on. Alright, let's go to the plot island now. I wonder what happens if she leads your party with important items in her personal inventory, right? I'm sure the game doesn't freeze. I wonder if she's like allowed to leave with your magic carpet, for example. Here's the 10 people. What's up, guys? We roamers treat our dancers, our chosen ones, with great respect. Lala, the second of the dancers, was truly special. Yeah, so I think the roamers of ancient times were the ones that we visited like 40 game hours ago. I kind of remember it. This is a game that even if I didn't have large, month-long gaps in between sessions, multiple month-long gaps in between sessions, I would still struggle because it's so episodic. It's like watching a 26-episode season of a TV series, having something that happens in episode 2 becoming super critical in like episode 25, but not being referenced at all in the intervening period. What's up? Locate a sufficiently talented Torben player. Oh, well. Let me tell you guys. I met the person that self-identified as the most talented Torben player in the world. Another one of our most important rituals. Would you mind waiting a short while? That is a drum, not a barrel. Oops. I'm actually really surprised that this game is like, after you drop off Maribel, it's like, oh, you should go check on your parents. And then your parents give you the breadcrumb to come here. I wouldn't be surprised if the PS1 version of the game is just like, you just need to know that there are these tents in the world map now. Just go explore around until you find it. What is a drum if not a covered barrel? And yet, the protagonist is unwilling to destroy drums. We have not found the lake which is said to contain the altar, the one that has sealed away the Almighty. I believe the altar of the Almighty is to be found in these parts. I mean, I've like actually seen it, but may have ended up working out that the last island that felt like it was super important to the overall plot is not actually that important after all. The altar of the Almighty lies on the other side of the mountains to the west of here. It's there in the past, I think. Chest is empty. Again. It's only a coincidence, of course. Yep. What luck. A meaty treat. What? Have I gotten those before? Meaty treat. Use this item when the time is right. It's a key item. Looks like it might be some sort of useful item. Oh, once it's been used, it's gone for good. No, never mind. It's like the least useful description in history for an item. Use this when the time is right. Oh, really? What a hot tip. Oh shit, I need to talk to everyone in the town. Fuck, one of those. I do remember, actually. I don't remember if I talked to people in the tents. 1 second. Definitely talked to him already. I must have, because I've been trying to find someone to progress the story. I talk to first. Yet to find a worthy Torben player. Okay, I think I've talked to everyone now. Let's see. Yep. Hey. Flip all 9 event flags in the town. Friend's name Ash, Aisha, Moesha. Aish? Say Aisha. It's nothing but trouble. In ancient times, humanity managed to escape the clutches of the Demon King and survive to live in peace thanks to the efforts of a band of heroes. This peace will not last. Feeling that the band of heroes is us. Apologize for the difficult scene you had to witness. Do not know what Aisha objected to so strongly. Perhaps it was because I was playing the Torben, or perhaps the younger generation do not appreciate how much of an honor it is to be chosen as our clan's dancer. Where'd she run off to? She went to the Cape to let off steam. Okay. Technically is a cape. It's a hill by the water. Beach near the altar of the Almighty. Here lies one who danced for the Almighty, and beside her, her dutiful guardian. What's up? You have a unique character model. That doesn't happen super frequently. Feeling someone had followed me. Take it you have business with me? Yes. Not change my mind. I refuse to become a dancer. Come with me to All Trades Alley. Abby. Turn you into a dancer? All of the dancer abilities are bad. It's mostly just a prerequisite class. Is everyone here like still super pissed? Apologizing for another kerfuffle. Ultimate Dragon Quest spell. Ace is 10 times the sword fighter I am. Not worthy of being her guardian. Not located at the altar of the Almighty. We have no need for a dancer. Why not seek out the one worthy of the Torment of Truth? Which is, I think this is the third time we've encountered the Torment of Truth. I haven't seen any signs of the contrary, despite all our searching. We have the Torment of Truth because we're meant to find the one worthy of playing it. Do you know anything about them? Will assist me in my search for the one worthy of the Torment of Truth? Sure, I know where to go, even. Let's go to Hub. The moment you locate the altar, I'll come right home. Just give me until then. Let's leave the old man to his ponderings and make ready to depart. Okay. Hey, you're gonna entrust us with the Torment of Truth. Go take it to Hubble, right? Most sacred of all Torments. Any descendants of the legendary player still exist. This is the instrument that they will be required to play. Just apart. Okay. Place I must visit before our adventures can begin. I wonder what was in that other locked chest that magic key didn't work on. My parents' last resting place. This is the Sword of the Roamers. Oh, I like the little camera zoom in there. This is the Guardian's crest. The sword was found by one of my ancestors. Prince of a faraway kingdom, yeah. So it'd be a way for us to like download. Oh yeah, we're time travelers. We're actually the reason that your continent even exists. So I'm a little nervous now. Ruff sleeps at his side with a dog. Talk beneath the stars. As the warm breeze rushes against his face, Marstead dreams of Pilchard Bay and Estart Castle. Japanese name is Aira. It should be pronounced Aisha. Okay. Thank you for checking. If she's an actual party member, that's distressing. If she's an actual party member that starts from 0 on the jobs and then we never get Maribel back, kill me, right? I guess we'll find out if it lets her switch jobs. We had, was it Kiefer for like the first 10 hours of the game, but that didn't feel like it was disruptive because he was never able to get jobs in the first place. So I assume she's a guest character. Oh my god, she's a real character. Oh no. Okay. Hold on. It's gonna be fine. Just make sure that she doesn't have unique jobs at All Trades Alley. All Trades Abbey. I talked today. Panic. If she's able to get jobs, and they're distinct from Maribel's jobs, you can level up jobs on 2 characters and you only get to keep one of them. I think I'll die. That'll be it. Oh no. She has like a custom job. She has custom costumes for every job. At least she starts with something, unlike Sir Mervyn. I was seriously joking earlier. I'm like, there's no way. They wouldn't do this. God is dead. Tide of sadness. Wow. There's no way for them to get out of this at this point. Either she is the new character that has replaced Maribel permanently, and all of my time spent leveling up Maribel was a waste of time, or she's a guest character that's only going to be in my party for a small amount of time, like Keeper, and any time I spend leveling up her jobs right now is a waste of time. Which one is it? I think I got an extra heal slot part, didn't I? Analysis paralysis hits hard when you're omniscient. I thought I had one, I guess I didn't. Whatever, it's fine. 3 people with it is more than enough, I guess. So we are going to Hubble. he was in the pub, if I recall. Oh, he moved. Where's Crispin? It's a really good question. Looking for Crispin. Where'd he go? You know what's even worse is I don't know what kind of gear she has. Alright, Sword of the Roamer's dancer's costume. I'm sure those things are all fine. Like, I wonder if she uses any of the gear from Maribel, and if, like... I don't think it gave me Maribel's gear back. I didn't see it in my inventory after she left the party. It's that classic Final Fantasy IV, you have to know that Kane's about to leave your party and take all his gear off of him, right? And then, like... What was it, Is it the DS version that incentivizes you to do the exact opposite, to like put your good shit on the character before they leave? Do I want to know if she's a guest character or if Maribel's permanently gone? Where is Crispin? I guess I'll ask it this way. Was my time spent gaining job levels for Maribel pointless? Is any time that I spend leveling up Aisha ultimately pointless? Like between here and the end of the game? That's what it was, yeah. You have to know they're gonna leave. Aisha is not pointless. Oh no. Now I've made it more confusing for myself. Is there any problem with me leveling the same jobs on Aisha that I leveled on Maribel? Because it's silly for me to level up Troubadour again when it's already maxed on Aisha. Or already maxed on Maribel, I should say. Yeah, right, Walter. What other way to interpret it is there? The hell is Torb? Or where is Crispin? Recent developments tell me to come to Hopewell. talk to Euphonia again, I guess. The fact that recruiting her moved Crispin tells me that Crispin is going to ultimately be important. But I don't see him around here anywhere. So we need a royal decree to fix the Torben of Truth after it breaks or something? Nothing I wouldn't do for my friends. A legendary musician. The Torben of Truth, you say? The queen of the most musical kingdom in the world. I'll issue a proclamation right away. We'll hold a contest in Hubble to find the world's best Torben player. Only the descendant of this legendary musician of yours will be able to play the Torben of Truth. That sound good to you? Yes. Carry on with your adventure and come back later. Don't have to call her Queen Euphonia anymore. Okay. Perhaps you should go find the event flag that allows this thing to progress. What's up, Great Kazoo? Okay, I have enough to be the last green pillar. Aisha joins the party. It's like, we have this very specific goal. I'm like, no. We're doing this pillars thing. We're time travelers. Let's go. We gotta pass the time. It'll be fine. Oops. Dragon slimes. Death Dance, Flame Slash, Muscle Dance. I wonder if Muscle Dance is any good. Ow. Yep. It might even be better than Stone's Throw. Well. I was saying something about dancer abilities being garbage earlier. So I should have that then, right? Oh no, I only leveled Dancer on Maribel before, that's right. I'm actually curious if Death Dance has a decent hit rate or not. Well, it worked. A suit of bronze armor. For dead-end treasure chests, but I don't think we're going to get so lucky here. Gotta do the golden sun one thing and go to the edge of that corner and mash the A button and hope that there's one hidden overworld item in the entire game. how that happened in Golden Sun. Do you think they like added it with the intent of having that in a bunch of other places and then just kind of forgot? This is a dead end. The village lies in the valley to the northeast. But what if there's a chest down here? Stupid sign. A flame tang boomerang. It's a cool name. It's like the most... Wait, did I already have one of those? Fuck. Or no, I went in someone. Okay. Holy shit, it's a boomerang that is strictly better than my Warhammer. I've barely gotten any upgrades from chests in this game. I've had that Warhammer for like 30 hours or something. Does the rule about single target attacks doing more damage than group attacks apply to weapons as well? Like, does a boomerang with attack 150 do the same amount of damage to a single target enemy as a hammer with attack 149? It's just as a general rule. I know that part, but I'm curious if you're fighting a single target boss, if a boomerang is going to do the same amount of damage to one enemy as it would as a Warhammer, which is the same single enemy. I don't know if I can call that boomerang a flat upgrade over my Warhammer. I don't know how the single target mechanics work in this game. I just noticed Aisha starts at level 21. Incredible. There's another dead end down there. I thought that was actually the town. Back up real quick. Nice thin air. As we're coming up on the last hour here, I'm going to be wrapping somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes early. Andrew and I have a Zoom meeting that's right at the end of stream, and I don't want to be showing up a little late for it, so I'll see about going over at some point in the future, but I think we're going to have that on the schedule Tuesday nights for at least a couple weeks. So I'll maybe move some games around or figure something else out. No chest up here. Rude. I bet there's one if you come back here in the present. Of course. I couldn't juke that thing. Muscle dance. What do you think is the mechanism of muscle dance? Like, why does it cause damage to the enemy? Oh, this place is cool looking. It's different. Aeolus. Hercules, buddy? Main character in the Kevin Sorbo Hercules? Oh, they got wings. Damn. People of the clouds. Whoa. Are they just like regular Toriyama characters but with wings, or are they all their own models? Blown without cease throughout Aeolus Vale for many a year now. It'd be great if they just had like the normal priest character, but with wings. Breath of Fire now. Winged people. Use the magic key, yes. Money. This is a really cool area. It's like super different from all the other zones we visited so far. Is this the church again? Okay. Up is the way I didn't go. Got it. Hey, it's another enclosure plan. Monster Meadows. In a barrel. In a random barrel. It's fine. We Cirrus have no need of that accursed stone. What lies at risk is the rankest folly. It's essential for our very existence. We have no need of such winds. We're meant to dwell upon the ground. I've seen JoJo season 1 through 3. I stopped in 4 because lost interest. Fie upon the boneheaded oaf. I'll talk about Sir Mervyn. Thou art a fool of the first order. Or muscle dance. Sure, yeah. There's a diary here. 9th day of the new moon. We did hear from a youth by the name of Felix in the Great Grey Rain. Oh, yeah. Only a drop of this blighted deluge is sufficient to turn those upon it on whom it fall to stone. Though I confess at first to doubting that he spake truly. Y'all are way too formal. I think these people all have unique models. Realm has been consumed with troubles. It's providence that brought thee and thy companions here. Spare a moment to hear of our plight, if thou wilt. North of the Vale lies the sanctum of the Cirrus, sacred place we stood guard over for generations. Great darkness descended and engulfed the shrine that stands there. Those who dwell within escaped. They are forced to leave behind our most sacred treasure. Brings constant winds to the Vale, blessing everyone with a gift of flight. Okay. You're a warrior, aren't you? Perhaps your band of companions could consider coming to our aid. Sure. I love our army must pale in comparison to your gnarled troop of like 2 11-year-olds, an elderly man, and a novice dancer. I guess Aisha is the first like competent person in the party. There are far finer flowers growing on the cliff tops, Fidelia. No, she doesn't have wings. How could the daughter of the praetor lack the gift of flight? I am a foundling. Foundling, groundwalker, scuttlebug, rude. Fuck you, kids. Who art thou? The thought of children talking like this is funny to me. Fidelia is not the only scuttlebug here present. She hath called upon more of her ground-bound kin for protection. Let us leave them to their chitterings. Okay. This is one of the most interesting towns in the game so far. Fidelia is the only child of Earless Vale, through whose veins floweth not the blood of the Cirrus. Praetor found her abandoned before his villa one rainy afternoon. Who knows who might have abandoned her, but verily they must have been heartless animals of the lowest order. Still going on about getting the stone back. Taste that fresh air. Welcome to the armor shop. How can I help you? Oh god. Increases resistance to sudden death attacks. Does that mean that it grants immunity to sudden death attacks? Those are two very different things. God, everything is so expensive. It's painful. I guess the reason you resist selling stuff is in case it has a good style stat, even though that hasn't really come up yet. Silk bustier sells for a ton, but it's used in style. Captain's coat. Dragon tail whip. Gold bracer. Both of them, please. Let's see what's in the weapon shop before I buy anything from this guy. Something different about the wind of late. Yeah, y'all's magic rock is missing. Did you pitch the memo? Did not see these three chests when I've been here before. Pot lid! Hooray! Never have three chests been more underwhelming. Although they went to the trouble of having one of them be locked and requiring the magic key, then it just has a pot lid in it. A regular boomerang, okay. Dragon tail whip, fire claws, fairy foil, warhammer, flame tang boomerang. It says it's strictly better than his icicle dirk, but the icicle dirk has the added ice effect. I think it's probably more single target damage, and I'm currently using his air attack every turn anyway, thin air. Can Ruff use the Angel's Robe? No. His defense is just kind of screwed, isn't he? So the Angel's Robe is comparable stats. It's just magic damage reduction or increased resistance to thwack. It's like, both are important. Enchanted armor. Alright, I should get one angel's robe, I guess. Iron axe. Warhammer. Angel's robe. Aisha, why not? She needs a better shield too, I think, right? Tempest shield is a pretty significant buff for her. Yeah, plus 17 defense. I need another 11,000. See if I can make it happen. Edge boomerang, it's fine. I feel like money is not as big of a problem in this game as it was in Dragon Quest VIII. Because you get enough garbage drops that you can sell, and you're not as worried about needing it for alchemy later on. Right, hate mail is the cursed mail. I'm still curious if it has some kind of use later in the game, like I can uncurse it or something. Seems like a waste to just sell it, because I assume I can't get another one. Mask. Just like one or two more things. I think that gets me there, right? Tempest shield, let's go. That's all, thank you. I'm gonna need mini medals in a while. A meaty treat. What luck. That makes enemies more likely to tame. Most terrible cacophony rageth overhead once more. Nothing special, okay. No particular reason to torture Fidelia so mercilessly, and yet, when I glimpse her piteous countenance, an insurmountable urge to rend her doth well up within me. What a shitty kid. Oh, that's cool, Johan. Does that suggest that you might get official content from them or something? It must have been most tiring. So I've never played Pathfinder. Played a decent amount of 3.5 when I was a teenager. Here's the thing that just happened. telling me to move the camera when I come out of that room. Is it just like a shortcut to leave? It's just a shortcut to leave. Got it. Yeah, that talks about the stairs. It was over 20 years ago now. Rolling stone descended slowly from the sky. Deemed it to be a gift from on high, and came to refer to it as the sacred stone. It's an unnatural phenomenon. We have developed an unseemly dependence on the constant presence of the breeze. Oh, is Pathfinder something that y'all just invented, Johan? I thought that that was like maybe a known thing. Is Pathfinder something that your group invented? Or is it something that you like read about online and adapted from somebody else? I was under the impression that it was a thing that other groups had done. Use this. Oh wait. No special effects. Increases defense when worn. That's cool, I didn't know that. Oh, Sir Mervyn can wear one too. Shoot, let me try sorting that. The equipment is mostly handled just through text in this game. Earrings, ruby of protection. The in-game frame rate does not like this area, apparently. That's the effects of confusion. Wisdom plus 15. This is all fine. So there's a dead end west of here that I didn't check out. I'll try to come back to it later. Yeah, that's really cool. Makes sense for fighter as well. I think Bard could work too, since it's a Jack of all trades class. Well, I guess some versions. I don't know about Pathfinder, but I believe it was in 3.5. Custodian's Camp. Chosen an inauspicious time to journey hither. The sanctum that lies a short distance from here has been shrouded in darkness. Do you have a save point? That would be nice. 5 barrels, none of them with items. I have this weird expectation that's probably unreasonable. Let's see if I can phrase it right. I guess I expect that if there's 100 barrels in the game, there's more than that. And like, the first town has 3 barrels in 3 different spots, and the second town has 7 barrels in 2 different spots, right? That like, you're on average gonna find 1 item in each group of barrels in the game. But the game doesn't work like that. Instead, sometimes you'll go to a place that has 5 barrels and every barrel will have something in it. You'll go somewhere else that has 7 and they'll have none, right? It's not like spread out between groups of containers. It's the same with the chest content, where like most chests just have garbage in them. And then randomly you have one that has a big weapon upgrade, and you're like, oh, that's cool, I guess. Yeah. So I'm interested to try Pathfinder at some point. I liked 3.5 well enough. Is Pathfinder compatible with all of the like supplementary 3rd edition and 3.5 material? Do they have like ways to adjust those modules to it? It's the situation at the Sanctum. Unchanged. Shrouded in great darkness. What of our brethren in the Vale? Business hast thou here? We're a squad of warriors sent to solve your problem. Thou art not of the Cirrus, that much is plain. No, I have wings, I'm just hiding them. There's a door that can only be opened by those through whose veins flows the blood of the tribe. The platform upon which rests the sacred stone lieth not beyond that door. It's not hard to make stuff work, okay. Monster Demon, Biting Bat Boom. They can't all be winners. Sweet, that was easy. need Sanctum level 1. Huh. Magic water. That guy's gnarly looking. Half hog. He might be a palette swap of an enemy we fought earlier, I don't remember. Blinded by the sand. If I had 2 paladins right now with thin air, every random battle would just auto-solve on turn 1. See, I'll probably keep the hero on Gladiator and rough on Paladin, but maybe I'll swap the ones that they're using. That combo works pretty well. Thin air plus flame boomerang. It's a dead end. Cool. Beautiful. Aisha? Nope. Submerged. He was also a little bit behind. Hopefully she'll learn Soothing Song. Thin air is completely nuts. I could understand almost if it was like the ultimate ability of the Paladin, but it's like the second level ability you get. It's busted. Suggesting this game isn't balanced? Shock. Who would say such a thing? Poor thing wants to be looked after. I said before, I can't super blame them. If you've ever tweaked like enemy stats in RPG Maker, you know how challenging it is to try to make balanced abilities, balanced enemies. But pigs and diapers. Yep. Draw from a hat. I think they make a token effort to not use palette swaps too quickly. So they don't just completely randomly draw from the Akira Toriyama zip file of enemy designs. There's some kind of, like, selection. I don't think that the palette swaps are evenly distributed, though. There are certain enemies that are way more likely to get palette swap. Oh, Jesus, that was a random attack that if they use 2 of them would just lead to me gaming over. God, I gotta be more careful, apparently. Should see how I'm doing on mini metals here. I think the attribute screen, no. Everyone. 60. I think I needed 63. See what makes them half hogs. So the joke is on whole hog? Okay. Growth learns a new spell, Magic Barrier, new ability, Forbearance. So, okay. Since I can't quickly see 3DS abilities. Magic Barrier raises magic resistance of the whole party. Seems pretty good. Forbearance, the user guards all allies from enemy attacks. Even attacks that hit multiple party members. Wait, so how does that work? Does that mean that they take stacked damage? If it means that they only take damage the one time, that seems pretty busted, but... Next thing I gotta get Oomph and Kazing. But it isn't a permanent Kazing. It will only last while he's on the Paladin job. After that, it's Kerplunk, which is basically garbage, and Disruptive Wave, which is that annoying blue wave ability. It's also in Dragon Quest VIII. Lightning Staff. That's cool. Can be used as an item. It's actually a mimic. See what her. I don't think I've gotten a physically attack with her yet. Oh wow, I missed. She hits pretty hard. Nice. Silver Soother. Full heal. Oh, that's cool. So he gets full heal. I didn't realize that Heal Slime taught full heal as well. So there's basically no reason for me to level up Priest on Sir Mervyn then. Oops. You must be close then, right? 2 for 5. Oh, he needs 2 levels, so ways to go. Priest unlocks more magey jobs though, right? No cool breath, please. Gotta kill them. The enemies are too stunned to move. Oh, priest is a requirement for paladin? I didn't realize that. This looks like progress. Hit Wonder, silly song. Welp. I thought this would make progress, I guess it wasn't. That worked out. Oh, what a waste of multi-heal. I wonder what that did. I assume there's... This isn't meant to just be brute forced. I don't think I have any way to see in that room. Like an obscure spell that brightens up the room or something. It's a long, salty run back. Check that really quick. What's the name of this place again? Oops. Sanctum Dark Room Statue. Walk in the direction the tails are pointing, not the face. Huh. Guess you think the tail would be facing you when you come in, but... Guess it looks kind of like an arrow, maybe? I see. Actually had to use the circles pad for the first time in this game. Because that seems obvious in hindsight now, but when I first walked in here, I didn't think there were going to be multiple statues. Shit. Circle pad failed me. I think it's a pretty tight passageway, too. Angled ones are kind of rough. Hopefully this last angled one is the last angled one. I've been using the D-pad the whole game, so... Whew. Straight up, please. Perfect. That was a room. Oh, that guy looks gnarly. Alright, I have to make a call here. I'm trying to wrap between 5 and 15 minutes early. The question is, does this boss fight take less than that? So most of the boss fights in this game have only been a few minutes, but if it's one of those where I have to spam heal with all my characters and only attack with one of them, I probably can't rely on it. So I think to play it safe, I'm going to go ahead and wrap here. For the next few weeks, we'll be wrapping Dragon Quest a little bit early, but I'll try to fit in a few minutes of extra time here and there for voting spreadsheet games. Thanks, folks. Let me find the quick save option. Here it is. You can't make a quick save log here. Make sure you have enough battery power first. What? Whoa. I guess I'm glad I'm finding this out. Why? Shield shot by some mysterious force. I'm gonna try to push through then. Just let Andrew know to start without me if... That's so weird. Isn't affected. Oh. He's a win boss, okay. Well, let's go check on my DPS, yikes. Forbearance. Paladin skills. Magic barrier would be nice. Is that on this list? Oh, I bet it's a spell. talking to Andrea, that's why I'm on mute. Multi-heal, please. Big out. I think my DPS is better with Aisha than what it was before. I like when enemies have turn-wasting abilities like that. Grins maliciously. Earthbound doubles down on that idea. Please don't trample as well, right? Oh god. Practically one-shot Aisha. Lame. I think she would have been okay if I had cast multi-heal that turn. Let me play it safe really quick. Sweet, she's back to life, thank God. Hopefully I kill the boss before Ruff runs out of MP here. Yeah, she's like super low level compared to everybody else. Sir Mervin's in instant death range here if I'm not careful. Sort of. I think it affects where targeting starts and ends. Not that it like favors the person that's furthest to the left or anything like that. Please don't kill Mervin here. You might, depending on who he targets. Yeah, like there are certain attacks that only hit a certain number of adjacent characters, so if you put people on the edges, they're less likely to be hit by those, right? Whereas the characters in the middle are likely to be hit by them every time. Because now I know you can't quick save whenever you want in Dragon Quest VII. He'll cost 6, I don't be able to cast mid-heal. I need to conserve his resources, I think. Mervyn could die, though. Shoot. I'll have him just cast full heal himself, I guess. But he survives to his turn. He didn't target Sir Mervyn. The swoosh might be bad. Could have been worse. It gives me a turn to multi-heal with Rough here. Come on, boss, you gotta be almost dead by now, are you kidding me? It's up to you. I hope to know more by next Monday. It's 2500 HP. Okay, thanks for checking. Oh no, Rough's gonna die. Oh, I survived. Hooray! Vapor's defeated. Hopefully it'll let me save quickly after this. I'm just gonna dismiss the text really fast. And experience a small taste of the terrors that await. Door swings slowly open. Can I do it now? I can't make a quick save log here. Hope there's not a boss in the very next room, right? Oh, it's the world map now. Okay, well, better let me quick save on the world map. You want to make a quick save log and suspend? Yes. Whew. Future Marstead, go straight. Also, I guess don't forget that you eventually need to go back to the place with the tents northwest of the main town, and you have to go to Hubble after doing some events in the past here, because you've got some event flags that have triggered.